Welcome to Artificial Antics, where Rico and Mike will talk about the implications and opportunities around artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Today, the guys will talk about AI in general and how you can leverage it in your daily professional and personal life.
My name is Rico. We are Artificial Antics. I'll tell you a little bit about what we're about. We are going to look at the applications and implications of AI across the internet, the various free tools, and then we'll get into some of the paid tools as we move on. Uh, and show the many ways that AI can help you in everyday life, your professional life, your home life, and automating and doing the tasks for you. So I hope everybody likes to participate. Kind of tell us what you'd like to see from us as we go through this. Join our socials so you don't miss any of our content. And back to you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Rico. One of the most opportunistic things right now in AI, I think, is something called Auto GPT and Agents. And Auto GPT allows you to sort of create a set of instructions and send the AI out without further instructions from you, and have it essentially carry out a set of 5 goals, right? So you set up 5 goals. And after it finishes goal 1, it starts on goal 2. The cool thing about it is that if it gets stuck somewhere, it'll actually go out and it'll Google and figure out like what it needs to do to get around that problem, right? So this isn't, there's AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. This is where things can think for themselves. And one of the things that is said, and I believe is true, is they're not really thinking, right? It still is programming at this point.
Right.
At some point, it may be thinking. Right now, the singularity hasn't happened, right? So
Right.
in the same breath, these are very complex programs that can go out and learn and get around their own problems. So I think of something that might take a developer a week to figure out, right? AI can just do it while that developer's sleeping, right? So they come in and that problem is solved, which then goes back to allowing them to gain more from the creative process, right? So I would say that one of the fears is that AI is going to take our jobs. And one of the major opportunities, though, is really to lift and elevate yourself out of the stuff that you don't like to do, right? So I can understand like a writer, they actually like to write. They like to write the words down and stuff.
Right.
That is
Guilty.
fine. But I think a coder, sure, maybe you like typing code, but the reality is the most fun part of a coding job is generally all the thinking and prototyping that comes along with it. And the typing is just kind of like something that,
has to happen.
It has to happen. It blocks
It's
you
the
from any
mundane part of the
progress,
job.
right? It's the most mundane part of the job. And so this is a little longer than we expected to do on the intro, Rico. In the same breath, I wanted to kind of give a concrete case, right, where, AI can just save you time. And I know you have some concrete cases too, right, with meal plans and workouts and whatnot that you've done where it's just saved you a ton of time, right?
Right. If there's probably a lot of people out there that are similar to me. They're kind of fitness enthusiasts, not really expert bodybuilders, that type of thing. But we don't do it for a job, but you have some free time in the evening and you care about your personal health. So you want to, go out to the gym. And of course, you don't want to waste your time in the gym and not eat right. So one of the things I find the most boring, I have cookbooks, many cookbooks, it's going through the cookbooks and finding, the right recipe that you're going to feed to your family or feed yourself, that you want to eat for 5 days straight, or, eat different meals 3 times a day. And then find the right thing within your macros. And what we found so far is a simple tool like Chat GPT, which I think is almost like your base level AI at this point that most people have some knowledge of or have heard of. You can just enter a few, one little string saying, hey, I want a 7-day meal plan, high in protein, low in carbs. Give me the nutritional facts as well as the grocery list. And boom, within, 5 to 30 seconds, you have your meal plan printed out. You can copy and paste that, shoot it to your phone and head straight to the grocery store and pick up the groceries for it. So a quick question, Mike, real quick. What is your favorite part of AI so far that you've stumbled upon?
So far, I've been using ChatGPT to automate some of the more repetitive tasks around sending email replies. So anybody who's ever sent an email knows that to send and craft a good email, it generally takes quite a bit of time. And if you're too concise, you sound like an idiot or a jerk. And if you're too verbose, nobody's going to read it, right?
Right.
So I found that ChatGPT has helped me to quickly draft replies to where I can just give it the basics and the prior email thread, and it can output, let's say, a reply that's 98% right, and I just need to tweak a couple things. So I have seen, and I'm going to give you an interesting case where I've read emails coming from people that I know, and I say, oh, that was written by AI, and they didn't add their own little tweak. Yeah,
flair,
exactly.
Right?
So it's very clear if you just let AI do your whole job.
Right.
So I'm gonna throw out to the listeners, right? That's a warning to make sure, right, that you're spending time on good inputs to ChatGPT, and that you're really reviewing the outputs and making them your own, right? Even if you were to go make them your own and then have ChatGPT re-review that, that's fine, but you don't want to give it full reign over, you still want to be you, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. You want your job replaced, just go ahead and do the thing with ChatGPT and just going with the 100%, let's do it,
Right. And ultimately those are the kids in school, right, that copy their neighbor's homework verbatim, or copy their book report verbatim and turn it in without proofreading it or adding their own flair or jumbling up the words. But one of the interesting things on that even is, one of the things I struggle with personally is, writing a personal card or something like that. And we kind of experimented with that. And not that you should always do this, but if you're looking for ideas, and again, folks, the biggest takeaway here is that this is an extension of you, right? This is a tool to you. So it's you and AI paired together to make, one being or one product that'll pass a straight face test. So one of the inputs we had tried in another episode was saying, okay, a family member passed away of somebody close, and we give it a belief system. We can input any belief system. We're going to try a couple, because that's another thing I'd like to see, and ask it to write a condolence card for somebody who had a family member pass away. So if you're struggling with words for something as simple as a birthday card or a condolence card or a congratulations card, boom, you could pop it into there. Of course, make it your own, add your own touch, because it should come from the heart, right? But it might, as far as an experiment goes, it was definitely an eye-opening experience. So
that's actually awesome. I had totally forgotten you mentioned about the condolence card, or I have the hardest time with getting the first couple words out with that. Right. And I don't just want to be sorry for your loss. That sucks, right?
Right.
Sorry for your loss is hi, how's your day going? Right. Yeah, nobody gives a crap. And the thing is, they expect it from everybody, right? One of the things that I've realized over the years, in professional life and personal life, is to make something your own, to give stuff a personal touch.
Absolutely.
And this kind of helps you get past the initial creative blocks around something that's very difficult, right? Like a condolence card or something like that. So yeah, that's a great idea. Just came up with another thing that I've really been enjoying using ChatGPT for, which is going through and writing certain pieces of code. I'm not, I've been a developer in the development space, software engineering, for about 20 years. And I'm as a director, I'm not doing as much of that coding, and that's fine. But the reality is, every once in a while, I still need to get something done, or at least play around with something, or even help one of my employees, right, as a mentor. And so I've been leaning on ChatGPT to for both of those things, right, to kind of help people get past their blockers. I'll say, hey, throw this into ChatGPT, think about it, look at the, review the response and figure out if this is going to work for you. But don't just sit and waste time, right? Don't spin your wheels. Use this to help get you unstuck, right? And I think that's important in, in work, in home, and everything. It helps to get you unstuck.
Sure does. And one of the references I think we've heard this week, and I've heard the term before, but hearing it applied to AI, was machine learning, right? And we all have computers or access to computers. Most people do. Obviously, if they're watching the podcast, they do. It's a matter of finding a topic that you want to learn about, but you want to do it quickly, right? Because nowadays everybody's busy. You know, a lot of people have two jobs, that type of thing. It's getting into those spaces and saying, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. I want to do it quickly. And like we've given the example of, doing an outline for a paper for a college class or a high school class, writing a condolence card, creating a website, creating some intros. One of the things I've tried with it so far, we've discussed before. One of my personal passions is writing, creative writing. You take an idea of your own, and let's say, for instance, that you were somebody that was writing. I took an idea that I had written down on my notepad app. I put it in a Chat GPT and said, write a short story about this, or using this for content, and it obviously just bam printed something out. I read it. It can give you other ideas. So again, you're talking about getting through professional blocks with coding and that type of thing. How about writer's block? What a great thing to get past is writer's block, and do it quickly and move on and write that memoir, that book. Find a different way to say those words, and a lot of times that'll get you over that hump. So plenty of applications for AI, plenty of tools out there we're seeing that are being developed at a very, very rapid pace, and it's going to take us places, folks, with this content, with this podcast. We're definitely going to dive into some stuff and get some places that we've never been, and your technical knowledge, Mike, that you bring to the table, in creation of the website, in creation of this podcast, the overlays and stuff. You want to touch on some of the things that you use that made your life a little bit easier and made it faster?
Yeah, that's great. So really, as you were speaking about, getting past blocks and just being able to, let's say, output more creative content, I thought to myself, hey, I pulled it up in the other screen, funny enough, about the website. So I'm going to show this off really quick. Couple things. So before I even share my screen, I'm going to note that our Artificial Antics logo, not the text, but the robot, and the cyberpunk background and everything, all of that, parts of that, and they've been composed together, have been designed by. So, I asked AI, or asked Bing, I think it's image generator, to generate, a cyberpunk, background, avatar. With no image in it, like no picture in it. So it did that. And so then it produced that. And then I had Bing's image generator generate a cute robot like Johnny, like Johnny Five from Short Circuit, if you're old enough to remember that, right? Or lucky enough to have seen it, even if you're not old enough, because it's a great movie. I would highly suggest it. And so what I did then is I've been using, tools like Adobe Photoshop since, 2000. And so then I, with my Photoshop skills, was able to take that background and then take that robot and sort of like, not finagle, right? That's actually a bad word for it, but like really just like compose those together to make one new thing, right? And so as well as let's say the two banners that we see on Artificial Antics, where it says live from Artificial Antics and it says antics.tv live show, all of that, those overlays were actually created in Photoshop. The original art was created, like the cyberpunk background, the cartoon stuff. I'm not a cartoonist. I actually suck at it. You know what I love? That type of stuff. And so this allowed me to do something that I actually couldn't do, even though I have a lot of other skills that were supplementary that can get me there. And I've built a lot of websites. I've done a lot of art stuff. But I can't do this. And this allows me, right? This has enabled me to be able to do that. Now, the next thing I'm going to show y'all is I'm actually going to share my screen here. And let me do this. And I'll find our website. There it is. And so with the website here, we did have ChatGPT write the basic website, and it wasn't very good, to be quite frank. So I had to do a lot of messing around with it, tweaks. But the reality is, here's what it did that I would never have done, and that is to create cyberpunk themed social icons. I'm so happy with how this came out. And again, this was not a one and done. No. I'm gonna actually share right now all of the different versions of the iterations, because there are a ton. But the reality is, this looks pretty freaking slick, and I couldn't get TikTok to come out right. So what I did was I took the TikTok logo, the brand, and then I found a cyberpunk background or created one, and then I again meshed those together to make a new
Yeah.
thing that I think looks pretty darn good.
So one of the things we can add in here, folks, is that kind of our concept for this podcast is that it's a three-person, three-person
Three
podcast,
entity.
three entity, right? So it's a three-person, three entity podcast where AI is actually the driver of the podcast, and Mike and I are just simply humans that are in the passenger seat, letting AI kind of drive this thing. One of the fun parts for us, and I'm sure Mike will agree with me here, is simply giving Chat GPT and AI inputs and letting it make decisions for us, and then living and dying by those decisions. One of the things we had decided early on was the name for the podcast. We gave Chat GPT a few inputs, described ourselves and what we had hoped would become the podcast, and asked it to use that information and then create a list of possible names for the podcast. And it gave us what was it, Mike? 10? I think there was 10 overall.
Yeah, there were 10.
Initially.
There were at least 5.
Yep.
Or at least 5 that were
ones.
good. You know what I
Yep.
mean? That were actually
Sure.
actually good ones. And then you had an idea too, right? So what we did was we took, and it was a pretty good idea. It was you, me, and ChatGPT or something like that, or
right.
and so that was pretty good, right? So we took
Yep.
Rico's idea, then we took the ones that ChatGPT output, and we said which of these is the best to convey, what we were looking to convey with the podcast. And actually, I think Artificial Antics very specifically came out the other end, and it was the one.
Sure.
And I don't remember exactly what the other one
the
you
other
had an
one
idea
was.
for was, but
Yep.
remember you had the idea for one, and you were like, "Oh man, let's see what it says," and it was
Sure.
just like, "That's very interesting."
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Even Chat GPT being kind, right? And it was just like, oh, that's very interesting. It's like when somebody tells you, like,
It told
that's
Rico,
a great idea.
it told you had an ugly baby. Is basically what it did, in like
Exactly.
the most nice way that you could do it, right? So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and share this. Let's see this window. All right, cool. So now you can see the social icons. So like Facebook. So as you can see here, folks, like some of these were complete misses, right? Like that's YouTube, right? Like it's kind of cool, and I wish I could have used it because it was awesome looking, but it wasn't the thing. This one almost made the cut for Instagram. I mean, it's like so cool. It's got
Pretty
like
close.
a steampunk vibe and everything, but it wasn't quite there. This is what I ultimately went. Nailed it, man. Freaking awesome. This one's really close too, but I ultimately went with this one. I love that. I think it's kick ass.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then Twitter, this was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. And I guess these are only the ones I downloaded. There were a whole bunch more, right? I probably went through like 50 or 60 Bing tokens, which is like 50 or 60 iterations. So you take
Which are
50
free,
times,
right?
which are free.
Yep.
50 iterations times that gives you 4 images each time. That's 200 images, right? And to get to where I needed to get to for these. And I still don't have one for GitHub, and it's something that I'll work on, and it's not a big deal, right? But the reality is, I think the rest of those turned out just extremely good, and it's something that I wouldn't have done otherwise, right? I mean, I guess that's the point. It's like it allows me to not just take the base social icons, as silly as it sounds, just a little thing, right? It's the little things, right? And and so I think it'll improve our lives in those types of ways, right? It makes us better.
And like you said, Mike, one of the things that people need to understand too is that you may be a coder, but like you said, you're not a cartoonist, you're not a graphic designer. You play with Adobe, right? You're kind of an enthusiast with Adobe, but you use it more out of necessity or that type of thing, right? So if you were to try to create those buttons from scratch, it would have taken a heck of a lot more time.
And they wouldn't have come out because I'm a perfectionist.
Sure.
So like what would have happened is it would have taken a never, right? Like it just never would have happened. Kind of like I've had my Medium blog since 2016. Well, guess what I did for the first time, literally the first time over the last weekend? I posted a blog. I mean, and the reality is, and I didn't just take exactly what AI gave me, and put it up on Medium. I went and I took what AI gave me. I did a lot of really good curation on the input, right? I mean, like really good curation. I had transcripts. I went through them. I had it aggregated down, right, to smaller pieces, big ideas. Threw the big ideas into ChatGPT. Had it write a blog post that was like a 4 or 5 minute read. I specified that, right, and then I went through and I added my own thoughts too, because I wanted to share specific things, right? Like Greg Brockman, who is one of the co-founders of OpenAI, he did a talk. Oh, the cat's here.
It's Blue.
Yeah, it's Blue. Blue's part of the show too, folks. That is my cat. But anyway, Greg Brockman did a napkin design to website. It was actually a really cool video. We'll share that in the show notes here underneath. And so I wanted to embed stuff like that, right? Just to show people, what's possible, and also share my experiences with the same technology that they use to, create the napkin drawing to websites. So, I did that. And then I had my wife, Erin, proofread that. And she thought that the parts that I wrote were utter garbage. Matter of fact, she said, "Oh, I could tell ChatGPT wrote this." She said, "These first 2 paragraphs really suck." I said, "Those are the ones I wrote every single word of those." And so then we figured out together that actually ChatGPT was just a better writer than me. Now, it didn't mean that I just cut all my parts out. But what I did was I had ChatGPT then proofread the whole. She said, "You know what? Why don't you just have ChatGPT proofread this thing?" She said, basically, if you love ChatGPT so much, why don't you marry it? No, she said it very nicely. She was right. We ran it through there. It took a couple of my ideas and watered them down. So I wanted to, I basically curated and put those back in there because I wanted it to be like that. And then I had her proofread it one more time. She's like, "Yeah, just remove this one thing and we're good." So it took a few hours to get that blog post out.
Yep.
Whereas before, it would have never happened because I would have spent four evenings on it, and then I would have just said, "I'm done. I'm not doing
frustrated."
this."
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one spot where it's enabling me to do things that I wouldn't do because it saves me so much time. That's the beauty of it.
And I think one of the most important things too there is that we're all unique, right? I mean, that's what makes people so great, is they're unique. And I know one of the ways that you kind of got me from skeptic to, okay, let me dip a toe in the water here, was simply like, "Okay, Rico, log on to Chat GPT. What's something that you don't like to do?" Right. I mean, it was just that simple to provoke me. And I started with, I go, "Give me some exercises, give me a meal plan, give me a condolence card." We started going through different ideas. And one of the most important things, like Mike's talking about with this blog, is it's still Mike's blog. It took Mike's inputs. It took Mike's ideas, Mike's tweaks, Mike's efforts, right, to create this thing. And that's the authenticity part of it that I was talking about. You want to see authentic things from people. And again, part of my skepticism is, well, we've written a kid's book so far, right? We tried that out real quick and saw the story it created, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It needed tweaks, obviously.
And it wasn't great, right? I've had to do my writing for me, and it's like, it's utter garbage because it's correct, but it's flat, right?
Right.
It does not have,
it lacks that human element.
Snap, right? And you could even have it. I think you did like a little script for The Office, right?
Yes,
and
that's what I was going to mention next. Yep.
Took a lot of tweaking, right? Like the first thing came out very monotone.
Dry.
I'm going to say
dry.
Monotone or dry.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And The Office isn't really dry, right? Not even the European version. So the reality is that you tweaked it, and then you tweaked it again, and then it's a lot of refining, right? Like these, it's kind of funny because you're using tools with AI, but it's almost like an artisan work, right? Because the reality is you're tweaking every step of the way, right?
Right. It's like painting with acrylics, right? I mean, you block everything in, you have a general idea where you're going with stuff, and then as you do it, you're like, I don't like that arm, I don't like that
Right.
tree. You paint over it a little bit, you paint over it a little bit, right? Because that's what you can do with acrylics. You just lay it over and over,
Yes.
until you build that up, and that's exactly what we're doing here. You're taking, you're blocking it in with a basic idea, and again, we with the Office script, you and I are both diehard Office fans, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are diehard Office
Yeah.
fans that never wanted to see Michael Scott go off the air and the whole crew, right? I watch every blooper reel I can find online because I just love it that much. And you want to see a new script, so why not? In our instance, I took it. I said, okay, Rico comes on as a new IT guy, and he's dating Michael's mom. And it was so absolutely ridiculous. And as we know, if you're an Office fan, Helene is actually Pam's mom, but
Right.
AI named Michael's mom Helene,
Yep.
so that was kind of a funny part. And then the next input was, okay, make it funnier. Okay,
Right.
make it funnier, and it did. It improved upon it. There were some parts, Mike and I kind of read it back and forth and had a chuckle over it. But again, this is not something that, at least that we can see so far, that you can put one input in, copy and paste, slap that into an editor, send it off to an editor, or a publisher, and they're going to go, oh, this is the greatest kids book ever. This is the greatest memoir ever. This is the greatest show ever. It's going to take inputs. It's going to take dialing it in, setting it up properly, and finding those things that are, slowly digging, finding that piece of gold in amongst the rubble, I guess, that it spits out. Like
Sure,
with the
that's
website.
rubble. It smells a little different than rubble to me.
Does it? Yeah. Some of the stuff, I guess, the outputs. And the other thing too, Mike, I think is worth mentioning, is the AI hallucination, right? I think that was the term we
Yes.
used for it. One of the fun parts we did the other night, or I was messing around with, was create an Irish drinking song for our podcast, using Mike and I in the new podcast, and maybe as an intro song or something, because we're looking at those other tools that do text to speech, text to singing or audio, that type of thing. And it actually threw in a word, adulture, I think was the word, Dullture. And my son and I, we both looked at that and we said, okay, I think I'm pretty good with words, but what is adulture? Googled it. Doesn't exist. So there's still an element that you got to go back after AI, check this stuff. So again, if you're that high school kid, college kid, or that person that's aspiring to be a musician or a writer, you're not going to be putting one line of code or one string in there, sending Chat GPT that message and getting back something that's just like, gold, Jerry, gold,
Yeah. No, exactly. Here, you reminded me of something. I'm going to share my screen here again. Let me find this. Yeah. So this is a picture. Funny enough, I had ChatGPT generate this. So again, this is the Bing image creation tool. Would highly suggest that. And we will be posting AI resources, all kinds of them in our show notes. We're going to post it on the website. Really, we want to get people the information they need, right, to enable them. But so I had it generate. This was I think it was Yoda eating a hot fudge sundae. It nailed it, right? Like this
Sure.
is good. This is pretty good. But then I took this and I put this into a newer tool, which is called Mini GPT. And Mini GPT analyzes images and then can execute additional logic based off of those images. And so I gave it the most simple command here, right? Explain this image. Well, if you read this is all wrong, actually. Right? I mean, this isn't Baby Yoda. Like, I get it. I forgot do you remember what Baby Yoda's name is?
Grogu, yeah.
Grogu,
The series that Disney has currently on Disney Plus is The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
if anybody hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
John Favreau does it. It's an amazing
It's
thing
great.
if you're a Star Wars
Great.
fan. Yeah. But Grogu is his name, and they're confusing. Well, I think this is kind of a mesh between Yoda and Grogu.
It is a mesh, and that's fine. But the reality is, look at what it says that he's at a table with a cup of chocolate milk in front of him.
Yeah.
And that's funny. That's way off. I mean, like, yes,
Yep.
there's chocolate there, but it's not chocolate milk. Matter of fact, you would never in a million years even drink chocolate milk, or like it would never connect to your lips like that, right? Like,
Correct.
so a human could see that in like a moment, right?
If it does, it ain't milk anymore.
Right. Yeah, exactly. He's wearing a white robe and has a lightsaber in his hand. None of that's true. It's
Jedi, but not a white robe.
Exactly. So these are hallucinations. The background is dark, starry sky with few planets visible. Now, you know what's great? I did not catch the nuance that they're right on that. See these stars? That's crazy. He's not inside. These are stars. He's outside.
Oh, behind him. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty freaking wild, right? Like, so
Sure.
it caught a nuance that I didn't catch at all.
Right.
And the overall mood of the image is playful and whimsical. Would 100% agree there, right? Like it's good. It's good.
It's very good.
I wanted to share that with folks. And so, it's stuff like that, that there's definitely a long way to go. In the same breath, we're moving very fast, right? I'm seeing new stuff every single day that is just like, whoa.
Yep. You look at our backgrounds. That's two other examples. This background behind me is not a stock photo that you can get online. This is actually one we created with Bing AI. We just simply wanted a lab because we joke about being in the lab, and that's ultimately what we're doing. We're a couple of scientists, real brainiacs tackling this stuff. But the other thing too is that we keep going back to steampunk style. But I want to share my screen real quick. If you're a person that likes to customize your backgrounds, you're just looking for something different because everybody has seen the same backgrounds time and time again. See, I'll show my background here. There we go. So this is one of those backgrounds. This is a steampunk metallic dog, I think is ultimately what I put into that. I wanted a $sign for a collar, and I went through a few iterations. Absolutely blown away with what I got. But you can see the little Bing logo down in the corner, folks. So the Bing does put their mark on it, which I have no problem with because they did a fantastic job with what they're doing. And prior to us going over Bing AI, I wasn't using Bing. I never used Bing, and now here we are. What a great thing to bring people to their browser and to use their programs.
Yeah, Microsoft made a few really smart moves in the last couple of years. They bought GitHub, which is one of the main code repositories, and they bought OpenAI, which is obviously, the inventors of ChatGPT and whatnot. And so they're just so much. I think they're a little more aggressive too with what they're willing to release. I mean, we've never seen Microsoft be greedy or anything like that, but I think they really wanted to capture the market share, and I know they're doing it. So I was at a conference last week about tech, and one of the talks on AI, the guy said, "I'm going to Bing." He said, "I haven't been to Bing ever, right?" And I said, "Yeah,
since it came out, its inception."
No self-respecting technologist has been to Bing more than a few times.
And it was because it was a default browser on somebody else's computer, right? It was the URL on that browser.
Exactly. You use Bing to install Chrome. I mean, like, it's okay, or whatever, or Firefox, right? Whatever your browser is.
Firefox, Netscape. It was Netscape.
Netscape Navigator 4, baby. IE3. No, I mean, that's the reality, though. So Microsoft did make some smart moves. I would say both for the image generation. So image generation, I will make one quick distinction here. Bing is using DALL-E, which is one of the generative AI, engines. And they're using, I believe it uses DALL-E 2, which is the newer version. They made leaps and strides from the original DALL-E. There are other generative AI platforms as well. One is Midjourney, and then another one is called Stable Diffusion. And there are all kinds of tools around these as well. I'm just going to make a quick call out to a cool tool that I've been using a lot lately, which I think it's runwayml.com, I think is what it is. And again, we'll throw that in the show notes, especially if I was wrong. And right. but that one's really cool. There are a few features on there. Let me see if I could pull this up. Yeah, it's runwayml.com. I just wanted to make sure that I got that right. And if I could log in, I'll actually do a really quick share of the screen here, and we could just take a look at a couple of the tools, because why not, right? Sharing these with folks.
That's right.
And so
it's our job.
This is literally our job. We are your Sherpas. Okay.
Yes.
So You've got video to video, so you could take video input and you could add text prompts and then come out with a different video. I haven't tried this.
Mhm.
You could train your own generator, which is something else we should try on the show here. Image
Absolutely.
to image is, you input an image, you input some prompt, a prompt, at least one prompt, and that will generate another image. Infinite image. This one is so freaking cool.
It truly is.
It really is. So with infinite image, I'll just go ahead and browse from one of my assets. Matter of fact, yeah. So I made this image using infinite image. So basically, the original image here was like, here, I'll put the square on it. It was about right there. And Bing generated that for me, so that's pretty cool. But then I'm like, you know what I need it to be a banner, right? For like a Medium article. So I had to do a bunch of work to get this right. But like this building here is like mostly AI on AI. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's freaking cool. And then like you've got a street like here, like you'd be going down the street or whatever. And it's just really cool. This side I'm not as happy with. And I tried to do a couple cool things here, like an old bus or something, like an old rusty bus. It just wasn't happening. But the reality is it's like AI on AI on AI. And at the end, like Rico said, right, you're composing something that at the end is going to be what you want.
Right. And unique.
And there are a lot of steps, right? There are a lot of steps. It's not just AI, it's you and AI.
Right. And I think one of the coolest applications we saw early on with that one, with the infinite background, was say you have a favorite artist, and we all do, right? And maybe they have a limited amount of art out there, and you find a piece that you really like and you want to do something with it. We found that they dropped it into that infinite background. They overlapped that square that Mike was showing. If you can, you bring that back up, Mike?
Yeah,
actually,
sure.
we'll just do something in real time here.
Yep.
I forget the artist that we saw initially, but it was on a canvas. It was I think probably an oil painting. So overlap the image slightly top left corner there,
Sure.
and let's ask it to create an additional background in Van Gogh style, just out of curiosity. Obviously that's a stark contrast to the steampunk and some of the other inputs we do, but we'll see what it comes out with in real time. But to my point, the person that we saw do the video, they had this beautiful image that had a landscape sky in the background, but it was a small, like Mike showed, the area of where the robot is, and they just kept putting, create a bigger background. Yeah, that's what I mean. So you got your Starry Night Van Gogh feel to it right there, and you can accept it. You can see it gives you four separate options. Yep. And that's Van Gogh style right there. You can totally see the Starry Night style there. And then Mike can move that over. Will you do it again, Mike? Just overlapping it.
Yeah. Which one of these do you want me to choose?
I would go back one. What was it? Was it 2?
This one here?
Yeah, let's do that one.
All right. Cool. Where do you want me to go now?
Let's just move it over a little bit to the left and generate the same exact thing.
Okay. Do you want me to use like a sample right about here so that we kind of get a combination of both? Yeah. That's what I found really good results with using, like, not just going like this and then this, like,
Right.
or like this, you know what I mean? Like making sure that you're capturing like some information in the corner so it knows
Right.
kind of like what the whole thing is, and it can tie it together. And yeah, just like Rico said, I often will just leave the exact same thing in the prompt and hit generate. You know what I mean? Look at that.
Yep. Yeah,
So freaking cool.
Obviously, we're doing this intentionally, folks, just because it's such a stark contrast to the steampunk style, to the background that's there. But you can see that AI is using the information from the overlap square. It's adding additional information to it, and it's doing stuff. I mean, Van Gogh never painted that, right? I mean, he had no way of knowing that we were going to do this in 2023, but here we are creating that. So If you have a favorite artist, that has a canvas out there, or a select, group of canvases, you can drop this into infinite background and really create yourself a much wider area, and it will be in exactly that artist's style. And that was one of the things that blew me away, as kind of an art fan, or somebody who likes to paint occasionally.
I could do this all day, by the way.
Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah, that's it. See, I mean, you gotta admit that's pretty humorous by itself. Pretty awesome that look at the options. Yep. Just an awesome application. And that's just one of the many tools that's out there. Like you said, we did our initial icons. We've done our avatars, right, of ourselves. Oh, speaking of that, I saw one today. I'm not sure if I shared that with you, but we're definitely going to have to bring it into an episode where, let's say you want to do a home improvement. You take a picture of your janky backyard, right?
Yeah.
It's not quite done right. And you input it into the AI, and you just simply tell it, put in a liver-shaped pool, or or a racket-shaped pool, or so whatever odd thing.
Oh, we make it rate limited here with the girl in bathing suit. We'll see what this happens, right?
Yeah, it doesn't like risque things.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to blur. We're gonna have to blur some stuff. Goodness.
We're gonna leave.
Put some clothes on. We got kids watching this
bro.
show. Goodness,
dude, that is so freaking. Look at this. It's so good.
It's so wild. She's just chilling by the pool.
God, bro. While the end of the world is happening, bro.
Yeah. Skynet over the going nuts.
Yeah.
Mike brought it online, and she's just chilling by the pool.
Oh, that's so good, man. Yeah. This is really cool. So I want to tie this together. I swear I'm really hitting my ADD stride here. This is really cool to me. So I'll go ahead and say skyscraper, and I'm hoping it'll tie this together with this, and I think it will. Oh, baby. It's not perfect, but oh my God, that's good.
It's definitely.
And obviously the camera angles are all screwed up, like it's not like a thing, but like.
That's like fisheye. Is that what they call that? The fisheye lens?
Exactly. And then we're missing part of the building here, but that's okay. We can fix it in post, is what I always hear.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I tell them constantly.
Wow, the pool though. That's oh my God, dude.
It's just too good.
That's too good. Well, that is fantastic. So that was fun to share with everybody.
Sure.
I'm glad. I mean, that was like completely legit live. We weren't even going to do that, and that just turned out so well.
Unscripted.
Right? My ADD and wanting to draw a pool in the middle of oblivion.
Mike's hope for the apocalypse of the future from AI and Skynet.
Yeah, I mean, at least the water will be warm.
We're gonna get that's right. The end of the world, you can see it from the edge of your swimming pool.
Right.
And enjoy the references, folks, of the 80s and 90s, because that's what we're all about here.
Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you back in the lab soon.